Do you wake up every morning with that heavy feeling in your throat? That thick mucus that just won't go away? You clear your throat, and it comes back. Minutes later, it's there again, as if your body were producing it all night while you slept. And the worst part is that you've already been to the doctor. You've already taken cough syrup. You've already tried ginger tea, honey with lemon, nasal spray, and nothing. The next day, the same thing. A congested throat, a hoarse voice, that uncomfortable feeling that something is stuck there and just won't go away. If this sounds familiar, I want you to know that you're not alone. And more importantly, this probably isn't what you think it is. Because most people are focusing on the mucus, trying to eliminate the mucus, treating the mucus. But the mucus isn't the problem. The problem starts hours earlier, while you're sleeping. And there's a nighttime habit, or more than one, that may be fueling this cycle every night without you realizing it. I'm going to explain exactly what's happening, and I'm going to show you what you can start doing this week to break this cycle. But first, if you haven't subscribed to this channel yet, do it now. Here we provide practical, honest, and direct guidance for those who want to take care of their health after 55 with real information. Click subscribe and activate the notification bell. It's quick and makes a difference, and sends you home with an antihistamine or an expectorant syrup. And it works for a few days, maybe a week, and then it goes back to normal. This happens because we are treating the symptom, not the cause. Thick mucus in the morning is your body's response. It's trying to protect something. It's trying to cover, lubricate, and defend an irritated mucous membrane. Think of it this way. Imagine you have a small wound on the palm of your hand. Every day you put a bandage on it. But if you keep hitting your hand on the same surface every night without realizing it, the wound will never heal, will it? That's exactly what's happening in your throat. Your body produces mucus because the mucous membrane is being attacked. Repeatedly. And while you sleep, this attack happens silently, painlessly, without you noticing. Then you wake up and find the result. That feeling of a stuffy throat that has become part of your routine. What you feel in the morning started hours earlier while you were sleeping. And the right question isn't, how do I get rid of this mucus? The right question is, what is irritating my throat every night while I sleep? And it works like this. Something irritates the lining of your throat during the night. It could be acid, it could be dry air, it could be the position you sleep in. I'll explain each of them in a moment. This irritation causes the body to produce mucus. Mucus is the body's natural defense mechanism. It's as if the body is putting a protective layer over the irritated area. Then you wake up, feel the mucus, and start clearing your throat. Forcefully. Repeatedly. And do you know what clearing your throat does? It further irritates the already irritated mucous membrane. So the body produces more mucus to protect itself. And you clear your throat again. It's a cycle. Irritation, mucus, phlegm, more irritation, more mucus. And this cycle can last for months, years, decades. Most people who reach this point don't even remember what it was like to wake up without having to clear their throat anymore. It's become normal. It's my usual sinusitis. It's age. It's the weather. But it doesn't have to be this way. When you understand what's fueling this cycle, you can break it. And that's exactly what we're going to do now. It doesn't have to be that classic heartburn with chest pain. There's something called silent reflux, where the acid rises to the throat without causing that obvious burning sensation. But even without pain, this acid irritates the mucous membranes of the larynx and pharynx, and the body responds by producing mucus. You don't feel it during the night. You find out in the morning. After the age of 55, the muscle that separates the esophagus from the stomach gradually loses some of its tone. This is physiological. It's natural. But it means that the risk window increases, and a meal eaten an hour before bedtime can be enough to trigger this process. Few people make that connection. But when you lie completely flat, this advantage disappears. Stomach acid, nasal secretions, everything flows much more easily towards the throat when you are lying down. And during a night of 7 or 8 hours, that's hours of continuous exposure. The position you sleep in matters much more than most people realize. Small changes in the angle of your headboard can make a huge difference in what happens to your throat while you sleep. Few people make that connection. Many people over 60 reduce their water intake at the end of the day for fear of waking up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. That's understandable. But this choice comes at a cost. When you go to bed at night without sufficient hydration, the mucus your body produces during sleep is much thicker, and you wake up with that feeling of a lump in your throat. Few people make that connection. Tell me in the comments now, which of these 3 habits do you think might be happening to you? Write in the comments, because it helps me understand what you're going through. And if the video is making sense so far, leave a like now. This helps the channel reach more people who need this information. A calm, disciplined man who has taken care of his health his entire life. He never smoked, he rarely drank. He walked 3 times a week. But about 4 years ago, he started waking up with a heavy throat, every single day, without exception. At first, he thought it was the dry winter air. He bought a humidifier. It helped a little, but didn't solve the problem. Then the doctor suggested rhinitis. He took antihistamines for months. His throat was still congested every morning. His wife started complaining about his constant throat clearing. During breakfast, during lunch, in the middle of a conversation, Roberto would clear his throat without even realizing it. It had become automatic. He went to an otolaryngologist. The doctor examined him, said there was a slight thickening of the mucous membrane, and prescribed a nasal spray. Roberto used it faithfully for 2 months. Nothing has changed. He began to believe it was just age, that the body after 70 simply does this, that he would have to live with it for the rest of his life. And it was precisely this resignation that struck me when he told me the story. Because Roberto wasn't a careless person. He was someone who was trying to solve the wrong problem. During a routine, almost casual consultation, he mentioned meal times, that he and his wife had a habit of eating dinner late, around 9 or 9:30 at night, and then they would watch television for another hour before going to bed. That caught my attention. We talked about silent reflux. I explained that after 60, the esophagus functions differently. That acid can rise without causing pain, that the throat can be bathed in acid every night while he sleeps peacefully without feeling absolutely anything. He was silent for a moment. But I don't feel any heartburn at all. Exactly, I said. That's why it's called silent. I proposed a simple change, just one, to start. Bring dinner forward to 6:30, 7 o'clock at the latest. No eating in the 3 hours before bedtime, and slightly raise the head of the bed about 10 or 15 centimeters. It could be with an extra firm pillow or with a wedge under the bed legs. Just that. In 2 weeks, Roberto sent me a message. Doctor, for the first time in years, I woke up without needing to clear my throat. It wasn't a miracle. It wasn't a new medication. It was understanding where the problem really began. Roberto's story is not unique. It's common. Much more common than traditional medicine usually acknowledges. And if you're listening to this now and thinking, this sounds like me, pay attention to what comes next. Block 6, self-assessment. I want you to give an honest assessment now. Answer each question mentally as I read. Is your problem worse right after waking up, and does it improve throughout the morning? If so, that's an important sign. It means something is happening during the night while you're lying down and not drinking fluids. The body accumulates it, and you see the result when you wake up. When you drink warm water first thing in the morning, does the feeling improve quickly? If so, your mucus may be thick due to overnight dehydration. Water helps to thin it out, and relief comes quickly. This is valuable information. Does your throat get worse when you lie down during the day, for example, during a nap? This is one of the clearest signs that lying down is facilitating reflux or the accumulation of secretions. If lying down makes it worse, standing up improves it. Gravity is involved in this equation. Does your voice become hoarse or different first thing in the morning and improve as the hours go by? Morning hoarseness is often caused by irritation of the vocal cords during the night. Acid, dryness, and accumulated mucus can contribute. If it improves during the day, the problem lies in what happens while you sleep. Do you feel a constant need to clear your throat, especially after meals? This is one of the most characteristic signs of silent reflux. The acid irritates, the body produces mucus to protect it, and the throat-clearing reflex becomes almost involuntary, especially after eating. If you answered yes to 3 or more of these questions, there is a very real chance that your problem is being fueled by nighttime habits that can be modified. I'm not saying it's simple. I'm not saying it will be solved in a day, but I am saying there is a way. And it starts with understanding what's happening while you sleep. Day 1. Warm water upon waking. Before coffee, before anything else, drink a glass of warm water. Not ice cold, warm. This helps to loosen the mucus that has accumulated overnight, facilitates natural elimination, and hydrates the mucous membrane that has gone hours without receiving anything. Many people report significant relief as early as the first day with this simple change. Not because it solved the problem, but because it helped the body recover faster than it did overnight. Notice how you feel. Write it down if you want. This habit costs nothing and takes 30 seconds. I know this might seem difficult at first, especially if you have a habit of eating dinner late or snacking before bed. But this interval is the time your stomach needs to process the meal and reduce the amount of acid before you go to bed. For the first 2 or 3 days, you may feel slightly hungry before bed. That's normal. It will pass. What doesn't need to be normal is waking up with a sore throat every day. Day 3. Slightly raise the head of the bed. It doesn't have to be much. 10 to 15 centimeters already makes a difference. You can add an extra firm pillow, use a foam wedge sold in pharmacies, or place a small support under the legs of the headboard. The idea is simple. With a slight tilt, gravity works in your favor. Acid has more difficulty rising. Secretions have more difficulty accumulating in the throat. Warning: elevating only your head with regular pillows doesn't have the same effect and can even cause neck pain. The inclination needs to come from the entire body, starting from the hips and going upwards. Some medications commonly used by people over 55 can directly affect mucus production, esophageal motility, or the tone of the muscle that separates the stomach from the esophagus. Antihypertensives, muscle relaxants, some antidepressants, and even blood pressure medications are on this list. I'm not saying to stop any medication. Never do that without medical advice. I'm saying to talk to your doctor specifically about this symptom and ask if any of your medications might be contributing. Many patients have never asked this question, and the answer sometimes changes everything. Dust, mites, mold, strong-smelling cleaning products, even fabric softener can irritate the airways during the hours you spend lying down. Here are some simple suggestions. Wash your bedding frequently using mild, fragrance-free soap. Keep the room well ventilated. If the air is too dry, a humidifier can help, but clean it regularly to prevent mold. And if you have a pet that sleeps in your room, consider whether that might be contributing to the problem. Small changes in the sleep environment, added to other changes throughout the week, create a cumulative effect that many people underestimate. Waking up every day with a congested throat, constantly clearing your throat, feeling hoarse, having that constant sensation that something is stuck there and won't go away. This doesn't have to be your normal. You don't need to get used to it. Roberto didn't need to, and he was 71 years old and had been experiencing symptoms for 4 years when he found the way. What I hope you take away from this video isn't a list of rules. It's a change of perspective. The problem isn't in your throat. The problem is what happens while you sleep. And now that you know that, you have a real starting point. Start on day 1. Warm water tomorrow morning. That's all. And keep observing. Now tell me in the comments, which of the 3 habits I mentioned do you think might be contributing to your problem? Eating dinner late, sleeping completely flat, or lack of hydration? Write it below. I read them all. If this video made sense to you, if someone finally explained what no one had explained before, leave a like. Share it with someone who wakes up every day clearing their throat. It might be exactly the information that person needed to hear. And now, before you leave, I've selected a video here that will complement everything we've discussed today. It talks about another silent habit that directly affects airway health after age 60. Click on it now. It's appearing on the screen. You won't regret it. Take care. Until next time.